Understand Garrett's response in his own theory. So let's first of all criticize Garret before we put me in hot water.
I often hear, as I did when I talked to Stephen Wolfram by himself, and then Eric and Stephen got together for a live debate over the summer as well. But I said, which of you guys really thinks that this theory of everything is doing a disservice? Because it's actually, in my opinion, what Stephen has is not going to come up with the Aharonov-Bohm effect, or maybe it will, but maybe it won't come up with Bell's inequality. In other words, it's not really a theory of everything. It might be a unified theory or something like that. So Garret, let me ask you, is E8 is exceptional theory that you've developed. Is that really going to come up with things like the double slit experiment? Is it going to come up with strange, spooky action at a distance? Or is it not, and I'm saying this merely, but it's not pejorative in any sense, is it restricted to unification via mathematical structures in this representation theory fashion?
The short answer is no, because E8 does not inherently contain a geometric description of quantum physics, which is something that Eric said he was that ultimately we were going to need to go for. So if you really want a unified theory and not be faking it, you also need a description of quantum physics in a natural way that includes the things you described. So that's what I'm working on next. So I'm next working on structures such as generalized Lie groups that inherently contain descriptions of quantum physics that would start to be able to give you exactly those things that you described.
Mm-hmm. And Eric, would it emerge from, you and I have talked about this, but for the record, let's say it in front of Garret. Wherein lies things like the spooky action at a distance, like Bell's inequality? Does that lie within the geometric unity purview?
I don't even understand Garrett's response in his own theory. So let's first of all criticize Garret before we put me in hot water.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. All right. The thing about, I don't think Garret is actually accurate. One of the really important things about what happened in the 1970s, where we actually made progress, but we pretend that we didn't make progress in the structure. If Garret has a Lagrangian, which he does, and that Lagrangian is applied to the fields, which it is, Garret will find that he will have something called a phase space. He'll have a configuration space, he will have a phase space. The phase space will inherit a structure called a symplectic form. That symplectic form will become the curvature of a differential operator on something called a line bundle. And that line bundle is something like the XY plane where you can look at functions. And those functions will become the quantum states of a quantum field theory. So I think that what Garret just said is not actually accurate. Even about
Planck's constant come in there. I mean, you don't have quantum mechanics. You have to add. It's something you have to add. It doesn't come out naturally from that.
No, I don't agree with this necessarily. I believe that geometric quantization. There are some things that we say about quantum theory that I have not been convinced of. One is that it's an art rather than a functor. But I think the geometric quantization goes a long way towards saying that just as Vintner's claim that wine is what happens when you stop grape juice from becoming vinegar. Well, in some sense, classical field theory is what happens when you stop a mechanics from quantizing itself. And I think that Garrett's theory is entirely capable of quantizing itself in a geometric quantization format, simply by virtue of the fact that through a Legendre transformation, he'll get from a Lagrangian to a Hamiltonian picture. The Hamiltonian picture will turn out to be affiliated with a line bundle, and then the spooky action at a distance will come up in the multi-particle theory as his theory quantizes itself, and I don't understand his pessimism. That's not his problem. He's got bigger problems.
Elements that either have to appear by hand, or I guess I can see how.
I'm send you a few pages out of Woodhouse, and I think that you'll find that you're in far better shape if you can just get your stuff in order.
Happy to have a look. I still think of quantum mechanics as a structure that most physicists would bring in as a toolkit to use with other things, rather than something that emerges naturally from a geometric system.
We'll